Good morning, everybody. It's currently 7 a.m. in the morning again. I think I have to start recording podcast episode a bit later in the day. But anyway, welcome to the third episode of the Glow Beyond podcast, and I'm your host, Roy Wong. Hope you enjoy the ride. Now, in today's episode, I want to share my top 4 lessons in this journey of living with a chronic condition for more than 20 years. I turned 30 this February, and I realized I've had psoriasis since the age of 9, and that makes it 21 years long of journey. Wow, 21 years, it's actually more than half of my life. I don't want to sugarcoat it because this journey is so difficult, but I also cannot deny in certain ways and on some positive days that I realize also it has been somewhat rewarding. So life with a chronic condition is very difficult and it's very challenging. So I would like to record this episode to share my learnings. You know, there is a saying, pain is the best teacher. And I think I've learned a lot in this journey. And these top 4 lessons that I'm going to share in this episode, they have been very helpful for me. Some of them I took a long time to learn. So I don't know where you are on your journey right now. I only hope that this will be helpful to you. Let's dive in. Lesson number 1. Having a chronic illness is not your fault. Well, for the longest time, I was blaming myself. And I was so angry. I was so angry at myself for having this condition. And it was especially hard during the earlier days because I was trying so hard to find an explanation. I was constantly asking, why me? Why psoriasis? Why is my life so hard? Why do I have to deal with this when I did not do anything wrong? And for the longest time, I struggled so much because I couldn't be at peace with it. I was blinded by the anger and the unjust of it. And I was just trying to find an answer for myself that actually led to myself being obsessed about all this research. And I was spending a lot of my time reading a lot of research papers. And it led to me eventually taking up a nutritionist course just to understand my situation better, just to be in control, and also to find the answer. Well, fast forward until today, 21 years later, I have not found the answer truthfully. And the journey has not been any easier as compared to day 1. But today, what I know for sure is, it is not my responsibility to find the answer. It is actually not. What I can do and what I am responsible for is to take part and is to participate in this life as fully as I can, even though I am limited by a chronic condition. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my purpose in this journey. And I hope that you will also join me in this journey. Lesson number 2. You are going to disappoint people. Living with a chronic condition, no matter what condition it is, it comes with a lot of limitation and hindrance. Let's be real. We always say that, I have this condition and I'm no different than other people. We all know. I mean, there's some truth in it, but it is not exactly as it sounds. We cannot deny that sometimes we need more space. We need more personal time. We need more time to rest. We are also constantly dealing with a lot of symptoms of inflammation like fatigue. And we may not be able to be as productive as other people. And realistically, we also have less energy as we grow older as well. Sometimes you need to say no when alcohol is offered. Sometimes you need to say no to your colleague when you have too much work on your plate, even though it may look half full to other people. And sometimes you may say no to certain social gatherings because your condition is flaring. Sometimes you say no to showing up. And I want to let you know that sometimes we fail to show up, and that's okay. It is okay to disappoint people. It is okay to miss out on certain events, and it is okay to just remove yourself from the radar when you need to. I say it's okay because in life, there are only a number of people that truly matters to us. And there's a saying goes, those who mind don't matter, those who matter don't mind. And as I attempt to build a strong community and support system around me, I've come to understand how important and how true this is. Because truly, the people who love you will seek to understand you no matter what. And the people who seek to misunderstand you, no matter how hard you try, you can't change their mind. So do not put yourself into a position where, when you're saying yes to something, you're also saying no to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. Be courageous to say no if you need to. And know that it is okay to disappoint people. Life would be so much easier that way. Lesson number 3, acceptance is a journey. In this journey of building myself up with a chronic condition, I've always thought that acceptance is like a trophy, something attainable, something that if I put in the work for a few years, I will actually get it, and my world would be like rainbows and butterflies, and I won't hate myself anymore, and my Prince Charming would come along and sweep me off my feet, and there would be happily ever after. I mean, it kind of was like that, but after being on this journey for so many years, obsessing about self-acceptance, I just want to tell you it's nothing like that. It's really nothing like that. I would say that the closest description of this journey in learning how to be self-accepting, it is very much like sailing out in the open ocean with no direction and with no guidance. So as we sail through this journey, we would become a very skillful sailor, right? We would become better and would become more professional in managing the waves. But it doesn't make it any easier because each waves look different. So it is very much like having a chronic condition upon diagnosis when we were younger or any point of your journey right now, moving into young adulthood, getting to know people, dating and into marriages and into marriage after kids, or even growing old. Every season of these transitions, every seasons of our lives, it look different and it requires different types of support, different types of conversation, and different types of awareness. So with that understanding, my hope for all of us is that no matter where we are on our journey, I hope that we always choose to live in our truth no matter what. Having a chronic condition that is so limiting and so challenging, it always tends to make us want to hide ourselves, to undermine ourselves. And my one hope for all of us is that no matter how limiting our circumstances is, let us deal with it realistically, but still remain hopeful. We do our best, and let's also support each other in this journey. Lesson number 4, find your people. And I can't stress this enough, how community support is so important in our healing journey. Whoever that is listening to this right now, and whatever condition that you're dealing with, you are definitely not alone. For instance, if you have psoriasis, there are literally 125 million people globally affected with this skin condition. And if you have eczema, 30% of the world population are affected by it, and 20% of it are actually children. And we always assume we are the only one who deal with this condition. In fact, statistics actually show that when we live with psoriasis, 25% of us have depression and 48% of us deal with anxiety on a daily basis. Having a chronic condition is a very lonely place to be in. Maybe because a lot of symptoms are very invisible and it's so easy to hide our skin issues. And because of this, people have a hard time understanding what exactly we are going through on a day-to-day basis. People don't really understand our normal is actually not their normal. And that's why it's so hard for people to understand that we do not adhere to a common standard when it comes to work, relationship, or even life. And this is why it's so important to have people with the same challenges to journey alongside you. Imagine that you can actually share openly your frustration with someone that truly understands that, we are doing so much to cope with this condition, but even after adjusting so much, we still have hard days. We still deal with the difficulty to acknowledge the fact that we will be living with this condition for the rest of our lives. And I believe that the kindest thing that we can do for ourselves is to allow support. Something that I want to touch on is also, when we have a chronic condition, it's so easy for us to isolate ourselves and to push people away. I want to let you know how important to let people in, to let support in, to let love in. We need people with us, to be with us in our most painful moments. We deserve to be seen, and we deserve to be loved in those moments. We also deserve people to be with us when we want to celebrate big wins or small wins. Let people cheer for you, let people be with you, let people support you. And sometimes that makes a difference in life and death. And for those who are dealing with a very difficult situation right now, I want to give you courage to reach out. Reach out to your people, reach out to your community, and reach out to your loved ones. It makes a difference. And for those who are listening to this, where you are supporting someone with a chronic illness, also reach out to us, even if all you get is rejection. The thought matters more than you know. Alright, I guess that's it. Thank you for listening. I hope that this sharing has been fruitful for you and that you managed to take some wisdom home with you. This is a constant learning journey. I wouldn't say that I'm the best in this, but I hope that this little sharing is able to help your journey a little bit easier today and moving forward. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.